Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with a Phantom Zone speed run instead of our regular Q&A because one of us is on a road trip through Western Canada. And since the entertainment value of listening to a one-sided discussion I think is pretty much close to nil, I'm going to put off our one last pre-recorded episode of our Q&A for just one more week to give you content that I can do on my own. And we'll have to figure out what we're going to do for the next couple months, hopefully with better Wi-Fi on the road. So this is our usual ideal Phantom Zone team. This is the latest, fastest Phantom Zone run ever. And instead of trying to fit everything in all the discussion during the loading scenes about the strategy and what's happening, I'm trying something new, a quick intro before we start any of the fights, instead of jumping around during lulls during the fights. Quick review of the gears. It's New 52 Wonder Woman. She's got Tantu Totem, Master's Death Cart, and Ibisitick. She is going to be satisfying a lot of the special requirements by doing specials or giving power to her teammates to do specials, and also damage over time. Injustice 2 Aquaman with Gauntlet, Azrael, Scimitar, and Quake Engine will mainly be our damage over time guy, because there's two tasks that require it: damage over time total damage and also the number of effects. And Flashpoint Batman with Astron Harness, Gauntlets of Azrael, and Overpowered Super is going to satisfy the steel health and the basic damage requirements. And they're all going to do some of the other ones that are a little bit slower, and none of the ones that are impossible. So here we go. So we don't need the multiplayer fight 10 in a row for 270 points, because if you start on fight 1 with that task, you need 3 fights to finish anyways. If you start on fight 2, you only need 2 fights. So bit of gamble, luck is always required, and we're hoping that we clear out a slot right away, get the 10 online fights, and basic damage should be that 1. Damage over time should be 1 fight after fight 1, maybe 2 fights if starting on fight 1 if you're focusing on that, and same with damage over time effects. And 590 crit attacks can just slowly finish the background. So what we did was start with Aquaman Special 1 for some damage over time effects and damage over time damage, because even if it won't be enough to finish the task, that's okay, we're getting something, and Batman should easily do enough basic damage. So when Harley Quinn has some health left right here, Batman finishes combo, she's a bar of power, no point squeezing out that last bit of basic damage, because she's going to do her special, waste our time. We have more than enough, you see right there. And we got lucky, 10 online matches in a row. So we tagged in Wonder Woman for quick special, and she finishes the fight faster. So the necessary damage we got was, the necessary luck we got was basic damage was done. It's as good as if we had it at the start, because we're going to complete it after fight 3 anyways. And it let us have one other task in our list that we could start. So Hawkgirl had Astro Harness. It's a time waster, but it means we can tag in Wonder Woman to start, and all those invulnerabilities mean we aren't wasting time when we tag her in again to get multiple damage over time effects with both Ibisitick and Master's Death Card. And it's a second tag in that lets every Master's Death Card hit trigger effects. In this case, that's the damage over time from Ibisitick. So there's a retag back in. It does the damage over time at the beginning, so that's going to be that plus 1 more will be enough, and we might get it in this fight, we might not. And hopefully Aquaman's going to be able to satisfy the damage over time damage requirement, while it also giving us 4 damage over time effects with each special one, because it's multiplied by 6 from the bonuses too. So we get his special 1 bleed, his Lexcorp Gauntlets, and times 2 for Quake Engine for the 4. And when we tagged in Wonder Woman, right, she gave us plenty of them. Alright, so what do we get? Oh, almost. Steel Power is no good. It's worth using our free reroll to get rid of it, but we need to go back to see what we got. And what we get is, yeah, Steel Health should be easy, 1 fight task, and we should be able to satisfy our damage over time requirement at the same time. So 10 online fights should also finish on this fight, and 590 crit hits is just chugging along in the background. So Steel Health is easy because at this late stage with the bonuses, we should be able to do it with just 2 combo enders from Batman. And so for the sake of speed, we'll save all those attempts for Wally West, because we can't do specials on him anyways. And start Jessica Cruz with specials, right? Some sweet damage over time, which makes the fight go faster, and then we try for combo enders. If we try for combo enders first, and we're successful, we're potentially wasting time on specials that Wally West will dodge to try to finish the fight fast. So that's why this strategy makes sense against this team. And finally, our second combo ender on Raven, just as her health ran out, I think was what we needed. So let's see what we get. Alright, so 20 matches, not awful, but it takes 4 rounds. Damage requirement should be easy to do. So if we're trying for speed run, even if it costs us 5 nth metal, it's worth re-rolling. Now we gotta see what we got. We got lucky, basic damage. Super moves sucks though. So unfortunately, we replace 80 supers with 80 suns, both of which are impossible to do. It's not worth gambling, hoping for the 10 multiplayer task again. Alright, so because Arkham Knight back row is a pain if she tags out, we'll start by doing our damage over time attack first and bleed her out with Aquaman. And we're going to leave just enough health so that Master's Death Cart won't knock Batgirl out before we get our second bar of power. Perfect. Alright. And the remaining health of Killer Croc and Arkham Knight Batman should be more than enough for Flashpoint Batman to satisfy the basic damage requirement. And once we do, part of a speedrun is knowing when you're done and when you have to work a little bit harder. So he's got the bar. We can't do anything about that. We still need some more basic damage. He gets a few hits and he's wasting our time. Didn't drain him quite enough. We probably still need a little bit more basic damage. But once we get it, we're not going to waste time trying to fight. Oh, he's got bar. Let's get a combo in. He really is wasting our time, isn't he, this Batman? Alright, so now our vulnerability is triggered. We don't have to worry about blocking. That's going to be enough. Perfect. And Killer Croc, we didn't try wasting time doing more basic damage. We can talk about that later. Oh, there we get 10 online matches in a row, basic health. Perfect. The 590 crit attacks finished while we were targeting other things. And yeah, tag-ins are possible, but time waster, steal health, easy. So Raven is perfect in this team, right? Because she's going to let us drain health a bunch of times. Our normal strategy with this fight is to let her passive trigger twice, stealing her health so that Batman comes out of it with most of his health, even if he had to waste a couple of invulnerabilities to do it. And we can still do that, because reasonably fast, and then there's no chance of not finishing the fight. There's our invulnerability, and then it's easier once we've triggered it the second time. We can just do whatever we need to just finish her off. That was jumping the gun a little bit, but I think we still got enough health. She's not going to trigger it again. And I guess, oh, that's too bad, actually. Oh, that's even worse. So because the invulnerability made it hard to get out of his way and just knock him out, he just wasted our time with his passive, which we normally hate. And in this case, we hate it from the other side because it is such a time waster. And because he's got Astro Harness, it's going to waste a bit more of our time. So now we have a chance of... This was the 5th crystal, or the 5th fight, I think. So this gives us a chance to finish the crystal in the 6th fight, because whatever replacement task for stealing health might be just enough. Something that we can finish really quickly and get us to the 1,500 points. Steel power. That's no good. We really need to re-roll that, because if we leave it, then there's no chance to finish the crystal in this fight. And it's worth the gamble. Basic damage. Perfect. So there should be no doubt. We're going to finish the 10 fights because of the bonus. I mean, technically it's really only 2. We're going to finish the basic damage in this fight. We'll finish it in 6 fights. And that's why we get this done really quickly. And that should have been enough. I mean, right now we don't even really care anymore. If he's not doing enough damage, we bring in our special specialist. Hopefully Batman's passive won't... Yeah, we're done with him. Oh. Joker had it in him. So, this fight didn't even go perfectly, right? there's still lots of places where I think we could cut a few seconds off the run. And I guess depending on how you count it, when you look at the clock in the background, 8:14 or 8:15, including all the slower loading screens on Android. So that's only 2 to 3 seconds faster than our previous fastest 8 minutes and 17 seconds. But I guess if you're watching the channel, or the last time we posted a video, it was 8:20. And this tells me that we're probably getting closer to the true fastest run. I think a sub 8-minute crystal is possible, but everything has to go right. Not only did we waste 5 nth metal once trying to swap out a task that ended up giving us another one that was no good. Worse than wasting the nth metal was wasting the time to spend it and get the bad task. And that slowed down this run by a second or two. And I guess the most egregious sort of error on this one was when we let Suicide Squad Joker Unhinged knock out our Wonder Woman and waste even more time. So it's clear that doing a speed run in Phantom Zone will depend a lot on the luck of the draw for which tasks you get. But I think with the number of speed runs we've had with this team, it's pretty clear that this team is a very solid strategy. And even though we've kept the whole team at Elite 5 for grinding speed, I think for the purposes of Phantom Zone, it might not even hurt to have them max out at Elite 7 or even higher, because you'll be generating bigger damage numbers for the 3 big damage dependent tasks. I think that's damage over time, basic damage, and health drain, steel health. So yeah, that's it. I think we're getting close. I think in a lot of ways it's like the human limits of the 100 meters. Will somebody ever run a sub 9 seconds? I think that there are some scientists who argue that it's just not possible. So this is the part of the video where we like to thank our patrons on Patreon. That's Maule Ben, Console Peasant, and Ed Woon, who are supporting us at the highest tier, Last Word. Cinemac and Mohammed Al-Shady at the Your Message Here tier. Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, Eddie Du, and Hoshi127, who support us on the credited level, and Chris Wolf, Scarlett Danny, Awesome Gamer 2 for 1, Pavu RS, Gavin Malott, and Isfer E at the gratitude level. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.